What's going on, people? Welcome to United View. Welcome to your latest dose of Man United transfer news. It's hotting up. People are full up of Ready Breck. They're full up of Quakers Oats. They're full up of their porridge. Where are they now? There's a positive feeling around Manchester United. Malacia chooses Manchester United. 40 million Martinez hijack. Are we in for another hijack? Can we hijack Arsenal's interest or late bids or bids for Ajax's Lisandro Martinez? We're going to talk about all of that. We've got so much to get through. Off the back of yesterday's show, though, because I'm still buzzing, just big up to everyone in the community who dropped comments, who got involved, who enjoyed it, who had positive words to say about the channel and everyone on it. Because I think yesterday, we have fun in the moment, but yesterday for me was another moment where I drove home from the studio thinking, yeah, man, this is what we wanted. This is going in the right direction. So big up to everyone. KG's in the chat as well. Not the scout, but the actual KG is in the
He's on the
chat as well.
peloton,
So,
you were saying.
yeah, he's on the peloton right now.
Apparently so.
Oh shit! Should we start singing some awful songs and that, like demotivate him so he wants to get off?
That is incredibly mean. I mean, I didn't know you were going to go
Something you
down
would
that
say.
route.
Yeah, something you would
No,
say.
no,
Really?
no. I was going to say that, as you mentioned yesterday after the show, amazing, a bit of a euphoric kind of feeling, right? I had several phone calls. One with KG right after the show said that was genius. That was absolutely genius. I said, can you pass the message on to the scout? Because I know they're different people. I said, can you get me in touch with him? But it was brilliant. Absolutely amazing. Amazing. And I can't wait for the next one. I really can't.
Or maybe there won't be a next one. Maybe that was it, a one-off special. Maybe there's no more. No, maybe there's no more. Don't know.
Don't you
Don't
dare. Don't you
know.
dare. Don't try and tease us like that.
Don't you dare. Don't you dare.
No.
No, but smash a like on the video, subscribe if you're new. This is what we've got to talk about today. 40 million Martinez hijack bid. Malacia chooses Manchester United. De Jong contract details. A couple of interesting developments from Samuel Luckhurst on the Frenkie de Jong breakdown of the initial payments of the deal. I want to talk about that. We're disputing the Anthony price as well. Can we get that down? And United being open to selling Tellez, obviously, with the acquisition of Malacia as he chooses Manchester United. But Owen, 40 million Martinez hijack. What? Are we in for like a couple of hijacks in a couple of days? What's going on here? What you got?
Well, it might not have been a very good 24 hours for Arsenal fans, which, I don't want to rub salt in that wound, but, brilliant. Excellent. Um, After the Rafinha incident, what is known as the Rafinha incident yesterday,
He still hasn't gone to
another
Chelsea
hijack.
yet, though. So let's not
No,
laugh
he
too
hasn't.
much.
He hasn't. He hasn't. But, well, let's, because that's fun. I've been spending,
True,
again, too much time around KG. You take your laughs
true.
where you can get them.
Even them being in
But
pain when it might not have happened yet, it's still funny. Fair enough.
it's fun. Manchester United reportedly have made a 40 million euro bid for Lisandro Martinez. Now, this comes from a South American journalist called Hernan Sisto. So, again, these are reports more coming out of South America as opposed to Europe, as opposed to domestic journalists over here. So, keep an eye out for that one. But we do know we're in this transfer race and battle with Arsenal for Lisandro Martinez. Now, as Manchester United looks set to complete the signing of Tyrell Malacia from Feyenoord, reportedly, according to Paul Hurst from the Times, we are now turning our attention to Martinez. We just don't know or have any confirmation on a bid, as it were. But again, according to Paul Hurst, United have asked Ajax to keep them updated as to the situation involving the central defender as they discuss how much we are going to offer. So some conflicting reports as to a bid has actually been made. One thing is for certain, we're definitely interested and we're in communications with Ajax to say, look, we're interested. We've got some other business done. Our main priorities when it comes to Frenkie de Jong and this quick deal when it comes to Malacia. Now our focus is kind of turning to Martinez. How much do you want? Is it 40, 45? Let's get it done, basically. And again, Flex, preseason begins under Eric Ten Hag. He's at Carrington, and suddenly stuff starts to happen very, very quickly, which again is kind of what we had said we'd hoped would happen, and it looks like it is happening.
It does. It's funny how the mood changes really, really quickly, and we'll definitely want to talk about that. Just on the Martinez thing, it. I think that's the key bit there. You said there. It's not that we know we've definitely put a bid in, bid submitted. That's not the. That doesn't seem to be the news that we're getting. What we're getting is we knew we was interested before. We've asked to be updated, and what a lot of people are starting to claim. There was a source saying that there's a 40 million bid. I would take that with a pinch of salt because, like you said, that's quite a distant source, random guy from South America. But the meat of that is definitely that Manchester United will now turn their attentions to looking at that after Frenkie de Jong, after Tyrell Malacia in such a quick succession. And that's what people are asking for. Okay, if you want to be pedantic and you want to stay in that moaning phase, or you're still not sure, your argument is, why weren't we doing this type of speed 2 weeks ago? But if I say to you this now, that okay, it looks like, and touch wood on this, it looks like we're going to be up to speed. Arsenal have signed two players in Jesus and Vieira. Spurs got a couple, didn't they? They got Bissouma and what's his face, left winger,
Perisic.
Perisic. Sorry, forgot his name. Obviously, the thing with City and Liverpool just annoyed us because they were just moving quickly. But in terms of our rivals, which are Tottenham and Arsenal, really, we could be up to speed within a matter of days. Frenkie de Jong's pretty much done. We all know that. And actually, you argue that the midfielder that we bought out of Arsenal and Tottenham, I know we need a defensive midfielder. Some people say Basuma would have been perfect, etc. We'll wait and see what we get. But Frenkie de Jong is the best out of all of them. Do you know what I mean? So it propels us straight away into a different feeling, when actually 2 weeks ago, a lot of fans were saying this is the same old crap, this is this. And now even people don't really want to talk about it. There's a little bit of, 56 millions of bloody hell, that's all right, isn't it? Oh, wow. Didn't expect that to just come in from Malacia. That's so un-Man United, like a young, progressive fullback, from nowhere. He's
For
Dutch.
a
He
small
knows
fee.
small fee. We've gone in there and just made sure we bidded more than Leon so we can get it done. And it looks like he's chosen us really quickly, to the point where actually we said Backman maybe first signing, Anthony maybe first signing, Timber maybe first signing, obviously De Jong, boom, Malacia. Do you know what I mean? So it just fills us with different optimism. But back to the Martinez thing, I think it's clear that we want him. I honestly do think that we have to choose, though. I really do think we have to choose between Anthony and Martinez. I don't see how we get both unless Ajax come down, unless Anthony starts digging his heels in a little bit and maybe puts in a transfer request, maybe gives them a problem to think about. Say, please don't block my move to Man United. Or if Man United know they can only choose one, do they not go for Martinez and try and gamble on getting Anthony's fee down?
It's a difficult one. We spoke about it yesterday, didn't we? In that I agree that we'll have to make a choice, and we're going to talk about Anthony and the price tag later on. United really pushing back when it comes to that, but I think also this whole pursuit of Martinez now and the Malacia thing and the De Jong developments yesterday goes to show that the noises that were coming out of the club and the noises that were being reported over the course of the transfer window so far of, yes, this De Jong thing is a bit of a saga. Yes, it is very prolonged. It's a complex deal. There are obviously Barca's financial issues. There's the contract, etc., etc., etc. But rest assured, once this De Jong deal gets close to being over the line, or at the point where we are dotting the I's and crossing the T's, there are other things that are bubbling away and they'll get done fairly quickly. We're confident they'll get done fairly quickly. And in fairness, again, I know what people will say. You might be jumping the gun here a little bit. They're not holding up the shirt. There haven't been any announcements. I get it.
True.
That is fair. But it's no coincidence to me, certainly, that the De Jong thing gets much, much closer in the last few days. And we're very confident now on the fee, the wages, etc., etc. And suddenly now it's like, Malacia's quite close. We've got to put a bid in for Martinez. Well, the other developments are happening. That's no coincidence for me. And those noises that were coming out previously of, other things are happening, but De Jong's the priority. Once we get that done or nearly done, we'll get the other things done fairly quickly. And it looks like that is going to be the case. Granted, as I mentioned, that nothing's done until everything's confirmed and the player's holding up the shirt, as Rob Dawson said, holding the scarf above his head. But certainly there have been movements over the last few days. And I know, as I've said before, it's not a popular thing to give credit to the club, and it's not a popular thing to give credit to John Murtough, but you would look at the last few days and you would say 56 million. We're going to talk about De Jong's wages. It looks like he's taking a pay cut to come to Manchester United. Not bad for a player that doesn't want to come. Malacia, that deal was basically done with Leon, and Murtaugh's come in and has gone, actually, we'll hijack that. Done. He wants to come to us now. If we get this Martinez deal over the line, you would say, well, Arsenal, we're in pole position. They seem like the front runners. We could get ahead of them. Not bad. Not bad. Again, but not to go back from my original point, as I said at the beginning of the window, I will still judge it at the end because that's once things are done and confirmed.
Big up Palmerus, latest member of United View Members Club. Big up to you. Thank you for joining. Remember, if you do want to join and you haven't done so already, the link is in the video description below if you want to join the Members Club. Let me take a few of you guys' comments here. Oh, there's a super chat here from John Doe. Put malaria, but I think he means Malacia. Says is a fraud. Okay, fair enough. Thank you for the info.
Because
Uh,
malaria is very real. Yeah.
yeah, that is a very real thing. 100%. Anthony says, watching and listening for another day to madness. I love our just activated bombs blasting through the gunners. We'll have to wait and see if we can. We'll have to wait and see if we can there, Anthony. I know a lot of people want to see that happening, but it's a long way to go to see if we actually hijack that deal. Daz Sweet says, we still look like we're panicking, jumping in on deals because we couldn't identify the players months ago. Well, fair enough. I hear what you're saying, but I mean, do we look like we're panicking, Owen? I don't think so. We always wanted
I would
De Jong. We always wanted to look at Martinez / Anthony. These have been consistent links.
Yeah, I would
This isn't.
argue
I mean,
maybe saying that actually these might be players we were looking at a long time ago. Just again, the De Jong thing was always the priority, and maybe through intermediaries, speaking to the player, the agents, whatever, it was a case of almost a little bit of faith with them, going, "Look, we trust us. We are interested. We're just getting this De Jong thing done, and we will get done in the next couple of weeks or so, and we'll come back." And
yeah,
I feel like we've mentioned it before, and it's been widely reported before that Ten Hag gave a list of players to John Murtough who he wanted. And that was different from the Manchester United scouting department. The United scouting department had shortlisted a completely different list of players, and Eric Ten Hag said, "No, I want these players." So they kind of just scrapped it all and went from there. So I would assume that we're working from the list that Eric gave in the first place.
yeah. Travash says Malacia, De Jong, Martinez, Anthony, and Ericsson will be a good transfer window provided the Deadwood leaves too. And we'll talk a little bit about outgoings later on during the show. Agreed. We'll be forgetting about the Ericsson thing bubbling along. This is a positive to show Ericsson, what's possibly going on at Man United. Mortada says, I like the Malacia move because even if he doesn't work, we can always sell him for a gain because of the Man United and Ten Hag stamp on him. Potentially, yeah. There's and also if it doesn't work, we haven't been massively burnt as well. We haven't had a huge outlay. And Natasham says, I feel it's United's strategy to swoop in so they won't get skinned if they go first. Yeah, I mean, let's move on to Malacia chooses United because this is kind of the segue into that. Smash a like on the video, peeps. Subscribe if you're new. Hit a like on the video if you're feeling happy, if you're feeling optimistic, or you're not feeling those things, but you just want to support the channel. Big up to you. Malacia chooses United because I think yesterday, Owen, we had the excitement. We had oh my God, we've hijacked it. Oh my God, the final president has said, yeah, we've agreed deals with Man United. It's up to Tyrell. If he chooses Man United, then a deal's imminent. But even in the chaos and the excitement and the KG scouting reports, I was doing a little bit of a Debbie Downer, a little bit of a shit sandwich during the show because someone had to. Just to say, well, he hasn't actually chosen Man United yet. It looks like he probably will, and there's an amazing feeling. But we haven't actually had journalists starting to say he's chosen. We've just had that the deal's agreed and it's up to the player, 50-50. But now we're starting to get reports. What we got?
So coming from L'Equipe, of course, a big outlet based in France, and of course, Tyrell Malacia had a deal agreed with Lyon, so this would probably come from sources close to Lyon. Tyrell Malacia has indeed chosen Manchester United. He has informed Lyon of his choice. Now, it also was reported by L'Equipe that Lyon actually raised their offer to Tyrell Malacia by €1 million after the news of Manchester United hijacking the deal. They gave it their best shot at the end. They were unsuccessful. Malacia has told Lyon he has decided to join Manchester United. Fabrizio Romano also tweeted this morning saying, Tyrell Malacia agents and Manchester United are in direct contact today in order to discuss agreements on personal terms. Feelings are positive on Manchester United's side to get the deal done soon. Feyenoord would receive €15 million plus €2 million in add-ons, which was more than Lyon's proposal. So it would appear, as you mentioned, this isn't just a case of Manchester United hijacking the deal, which was reported yesterday. It's also a case of United have come in for the player. Lyon had a deal agreed, but Malacia has now informed Lyon, actually, I'm going to United and I appreciate you up in the offer, but I've decided to go to Manchester United. The personal terms are the next step in this deal. And it would appear that Malacia is on his way to becoming a Manchester United player. There was also a clip, I don't know if you saw this flex going around yesterday of Malacia a few weeks ago when he was asked about Manchester United.
I haven't seen that.
He was at a Dutch camp and he was asked, well, what about Manchester United? And he went, a
Did
little
he?
bit of a shrug. Yeah.
Oh, if KG would have seen that, he's coming. He's coming. Get your Malacia
Mm.
shirts. Do this, do
And
that.
it's
That's
like it's the 10, and it's obviously that Ten Hag clip of that left back's great. Write him down.
Is
Write
that
him
like?
down.
I mean, we need some. Probably should ask
We need some
Ajax
Ajax. Yeah. Yeah.
some interpretations and stuff like that of what was being said, some lip readings and stuff like that, some translation, because I want to know if it was that game and whether that's just a made up YouTube thing. Because I had seen that before, actually, to be fair,
Right.
like ages ago. I have seen that video. I know that's not a new video that's only come within the last day or two, but was he actually talking about Malacia in that video? Like, I just want to know how true that is. But
Yeah, to be fair, it might not have been playing Feyenoord.
yeah,
Playing Real Madrid. That
do
left
you know
back,
what I
brilliant.
mean?
Writing down. It's Marcelo. Go, all right.
Yeah,
Cool.
exactly. Or who was it? It's the Mendy kid, isn't it? Who plays for them? Yeah, exactly. Well, at the time they played them, there would have been Marcelo. So yeah, exactly. So I just wanna know whether that was real. But look, he's 22 years of age, and I think that was the key thing that we was waiting for before we can get carried away. It's almost like we can get a little bit more excited than yesterday, actually, because when I deep it now the dust has settled and I'm more calm. I'm not more calm. I'm still excited, actually. But when you think back to, like, let me process what's actually happened, because when things happen quickly and you go live and everyone's buzzing in the comments and social media's buzzing, it takes you, and it should, because it's been doom and gloom. But when I was deep in it, I was like, okay, cool. So he hasn't actually said yes. Like, we've put in a bid. It looks very strong. But now what we're getting into the point where it looks like he's chosen Manchester United. And when you deep this deal, he's 22. If we get him for what, 13 million euros, 14 million euros, let's say, um, like, it's really, really good business. And even if this year is used to say bed him in, like he plays, as a backup to Luke Shaw. Obviously, as United fans, a lot of us would probably say, listen, we're not convinced on Luke Shaw. We want something different. Fine. But I think we have to back the way that Eric Ten Hag's going to use this kid. There's no way he'd bring him to Man United just to sit him there and not play him. But also, I think Ten Hag's track record with young players, um, coming from that league especially, is he understands how to integrate them and when to integrate them. So I think if he's going to be the understudy to Luke Shaw, I think we can be patient with him. We can let him bed in. And you never know, he might even surprise us and just come straight in and be the number one starter. And Luke Shaw's got a massive problem on his hands because,
Yeah.
how does this make Luke Shaw feel? We're trying to sort out that position.
Can I just say something as well quickly?
Yeah.
Because I do want to point out that so often, and the De Jong thing's a good example of people saying, "Oh, United, they draw things out. It takes so long. It takes so long." This is a deal that came out of nowhere
Yeah.
yesterday. Yeah,
Nobody knew.
we'd been linked with him, but we've been linked with over 100 players in the transfer window. So who knows? This one came out of nowhere yesterday as to United have hijacked the deal. Boom. People complain that it takes so long for deals to get done. This one got done fairly quickly. That's a tick. On top of that as well, so many times we've been talking about, United need to look for bargains. United need to look into smaller leagues. United need to look at less proven players, developing players. That's here. Now, I know for a fact the flip side to both of those things will be when it comes into the deal getting done quickly, we panicked. We panicked. We had to hijack. We panicked. We had to hijack the deal. And the flip side to the going for a smaller developing player will be, is he good enough? We know, I'm sure that he's good enough. And again, I don't want to be banging this drum this morning of being like, you got to praise the club because, frankly, after last season, they don't deserve a ton of praise. But again, like I said earlier on with Murto, of getting to the price point for the Frenkie de Jong thing, which we're going to touch on in a second, but also getting this deal done quickly of a player that was being chased by clubs across Europe. I'm very content with that. I'm very content with that kind of business. And as you mentioned, is he going to be starting this season? Probably not. He's probably going to be an understudy to Luke Shaw, but I'm again more comfortable and the understudy to Luke Shaw or the potential successor to Luke Shaw being 21, 22, as opposed to Tellez being 29 and still having doubts about his ability at the highest level. And again, I think that's positive.
100% agree. And touch wood, because, we want our players to do well. We want our players to be fighting fit. But if you look at Luke Shaw's injury record, throughout the season, he's going to get a hamstring where he's out for a couple of weeks. He's going to get the calf where he's out for a couple of that's just what Luke Shaw has always done.
And the
Obviously,
Europa League.
and then
Is
there's the
Shaw going to play
Europa
all those
League,
Europa League games?
Carling, Carabao Cup, FA Cup. There's we're in all the competitions. We've got a maximum schedule. I know it's not Champions League, but playing Thursday, Thursday, Sunday, Thursday. That's going to take a lot. And somebody like Luke Shaw, especially with his injury record, is going to need a lot of breaks. If we've got a tough game on the Sunday, Super Sunday, and then the next game's on the Thursday away to bloody, I don't know, AZ Alkmaar or something like that. Yeah, Malacia can play. So I think it's smart business. And actually, I think you're right. All the in the know people. Yeah, there was, to be fair, like people like Ekram Kona, and some people are like retweeting their things that they put like a few months back saying we were interested in this kid. But it stayed there. When you get those things that just go into the wilderness. Oh,
We've been
another
linked with
player, Man United.
over 100 people in this transfer window. How
Do
many?
you see
And
what I'm
we've
saying?
covered them all.
Cover
You
them
know
all.
what I mean?
Cover them all. So the Malacia thing, I think it's safe to say, in my opinion anyway, just literally went into the wilderness to the point where, and this shows you why, and actually we need to take a little bit of this actually and remember this. This shows you why you do have to kind of wait till they're holding up the shirt, because even up until 3 days ago, when Fabrizio Romano was tweeting that this is here we go, this is done to Leon, and I remember seeing some people, United fans, putting comments in there saying, "Oh, can't Man United do this?" And he said, "No, I said this a couple of days ago. It's done. Here we go to Leon." And then you look at the Rafinha situation with Arsenal. It was like their front runners. Boom, Chelsea come in. Like, and that kid, is it Simmons, who was at PSG? The guy with the dreadlocks.
Yeah.
And
These
it looked like
contracts
he was going to
expiring, yeah.
renew, and then he's gone to is it Fine or is it PSV? I think.
I think he's
Basically,
going on loan, though. He's going on loan, I think,
is it a
isn't he?
loan or something? Right,
I
but
think that's part of the agreement. But he was meant to be possibly going back to Barcelona, wasn't he, with his contract? That's
do you
sort
see
of a
what I
hot
mean? You
mess.
just didn't know. 1 minute it was this, 1 minute it was that, and then boom, something changes. So we haven't got these players quite yet. I think Frenkie de Jong, there's been no one else linked the whole time. I think that's okay, cool. But even with this kid, you would think it is Manchester United. We're hearing it's Manchester United. It's looking like it's Manchester United. It probably will be
Well, they're
Manchester
saying it
United.
is permanent, by the way. It is a permanent deal.
I was going to
Wow.
say, I
That's
thought I
crazy.
read that. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's permanent. I was going to
Yeah.
say, yeah.
That's
So I mean,
mad.
so he was going to resign and do all this. They loved him and all this. Boom, he's gone there. Do you know what I mean? So anyway, let's get the super chats out. Let's get the comments up. But yeah, Malacia seems to have joined Manchester United, or will choose Manchester United. Josh, MUFC Talk Football says, love the movements the club is making. Shows that patience is still a virtue. Not everything falls in place perfectly, but things are promising. Well, that's what we were trying to say a little while ago. So it looks like it's coming to the forefront now. I can't see who that's actually from, but there's a super chat here from Newcastle Takeover. Will fail because the Saudis are so good at taking L's. Sorry, Newcastle fans, but you got the wrong type of Arabs. Okay, we'll see. Don't want to talk too much on Newcastle because they are cooking. Sven Botman's a really good addition as well. Ruben says, morning from Nairobi. All the way from Nairobi, man. Big up to you, Ruben. Don't know what time it is there, but thank you for being up and with us on the stream straight from Nairobi. Love that. And we've got another one here for I can't say that. Palmeiras. I was going to
I
say
was going to say, you've never
Palmeiras.
had issues. You've never had issues
Palmeiras.
saying it before. It's just this
I
morning.
know. I always say it.
Palmeiras.
Palmeiras. It's got me this morning for some reason.
Yeah.
Palmeiras. Feeling step in and boost the likes. Shameful performance from the viewers. Oh, mate, we've got nearly 3,000 people watching again, by the way. Maybe this is a new channel setup. I don't know. Maybe it's the excitement of all the players. Maybe this is what happens when people can see that there's positivity and actually Manchester United are moving. But on that note, guys, you know what it is. We don't want feeling to rock up. So if you can, I know we're excited. We've got, over nearly 3,000 people watching, and we haven't even got 500 likes. So can we do something about that? That would be absolutely dope. And Funky Fruity says, it's wisdom by waiting for others to offer. We don't have to pay the United tax. Awesome wisdom. Yeah, the way they just came through. Before we move on, Owen, let me get this out as well. Fergie's son says, these players have thrown every manager under the bus. Eric Ten Hag needs as much signings as possible. I don't trust 98% of our squad. And that's a fair, look, that is a fair judgment. I know we've been saying there's going to come a point where we've got to just go again and support these guys because they're going to be here. Yeah, that time doesn't necessarily have to be now. That comes when, right, it's the first game of the season. We're playing Brighton. Come on. right, Fred's in the starting lineup, doesn't matter. Rashford's starting, come on, doesn't matter. Maguire's there, let's go. We have to win this game. It becomes about that. And then it's on the players to disprove us of where we think they will end up failing, because that's the feeling around certain players from last year. But with a new feel, with a new setup, with a new coaching staff, with new systems in play, with new players drip fed in, with a positive preseason, hopefully, we might be able to, feel differently going into it, and forget about that. But I hear what you're saying there, Fergie, son. Just before we move on from Malacia, I think it'll be really interesting to see, like, when did we I would love to know when we decided to kind of do it, because like you said, nobody knew. Top journalists didn't know. Ornstein had no idea. Romano has no idea. That just never happens. Domestic journalists had nobody knew. So at what point was it, when they agreed a fee with Leon? Man United went, do you know what, we were thinking about it, but why? Eric Ten Hag said, listen, I need him, get him, get him, get him. Then they just picked up the phone and just did it? Or was that from 2 weeks ago? We'll never know, but that's just a question I'd just love to get an answer
Yeah,
to.
I mean, maybe it stems from these reports that have been out there where they're saying we're confident that we can get those deals done quickly. So maybe
True,
they were really relaxed, and maybe they
true.
went, look, actually, we know the figure that Feyenoord want because Leon have done it. And no disrespect to Leon, but we are confident enough in our name that if we do come in for him, we can do it quickly. Want to come to us, even if it's late in the day. And maybe those really informal talks had happened with the agent or the intermediaries or whoever, saying we are interested. Um, it's just going to take a bit of time, and then maybe who knows with transfers? Maybe the whole thing with Leon was just to make United speed up. That is a real possibility as well. That kind of stuff happens too. But on the flip side, to not give United credit, maybe it was a couple of days ago, they went, okay, we need to get this done. Or United were dragging their feet, and Ten Hag picks up the phone to Murto going, but what are you doing? Get this done now. Okay. I don't want to miss out on him. Let's get this
Yeah.
done. And there are some reports this morning that we can touch on actually now when it comes to Ten Hag's presence at Manchester United. Samuel Luckhurst tweeted saying that United's return to pre-season training and Ten Hag's presence at Carrington are believed to have expedited the club's transfer activity. So possibly just the mere presence of Ten Hag actually being at the training
Shit, he's
complex
here.
every day
We better actually
and
start.
pre-season starting of being like, actually, you know what? Or Ten Hag had a look around and went, where's my new players? Looked around and went, they're not here. 2 seconds, picked up the phone, went, Murto, sort this out, mate. Okay.
Murto, start burning through
Malacia,
some cash,
boom.
mate.
Exactly. I know we've been burning through it, but we need burning through more.
Do you know what's so funny as well? That although we can see the funny side of it, that actually would be the most Man United thing as well. Like, oh, we've been a bit quiet. Oh shit, Ten Hag's rocked up. He was actually being serious. Oh, better get our asses in gear. But no, I think we should give him a bit more credit than that. I think because these things don't just happen overnight. They don't. But it does seem to be quite coincidental as well. Smash a like on the video, peeps. Subscribe to the channel if you are new. Epic stream this morning, 2,800 people watching. Can we get it to 3,000? Share the video, tell a friend, share it in your WhatsApp group, share it to whoever. Tell a friend, share it on social media. If we can get to 3,000 watching live for a morning show. I mean, this is already a record for the morning show.
This
But
is a transfer view record, yes.
100% transfer view record. So can we get it to 3K? That would be amazing. So hit the share button, share it to wherever. If 2,800 of you all hit share, then I'm sure we can get a couple of hundred more people watching to hit the 3K mark as well. Moving on, Owen, what we got next? Because Frenkie de Jong situation we know is pretty much coming to a close, but there was something we wanted to pick up on and have a little chat about.
Yes, we're going to talk about the contract details because it's been reported by the Mirror that Frenkie de Jong is expected to join Manchester United on a 5-year contract. We spoke about this before, didn't we? How long was this contract going to be? A 5-year contract. It hasn't been reported, but one would assume, as is typical of Manchester United, there will be an optional year at the end of that, worth £250,000 a week, which is significant because I believe at Barcelona he is on something like 350k a week, which would be a significant pay cut coming to United. And when it comes to the actual transfer fee, this upfront £56 million, we know the overall package is going to be about 85 million euros, but this upfront fee of £56 million, Samuel Luckhurst is reporting that it is understood that de Jong's base fee will be paid in installments. Now, again, we don't have any more information as to what installments that will be, whether it's, 20 million up front with a 20 million, it's 5 months time and another 16 million at the end of the season. We don't know. But that 56 million as a whole doesn't come out of Manchester United's bank account straight away. They're obligated, of course, to pay it contractually, but it is going to be paid in installments, which again, you go back to, it's 56 million, but it's not even 56 million upfront. It's an initial payment
up
and paying
front.
installments. Yeah, it's lay-by settings or whatever. This is unbelievable.
Yeah. That's I think that's interesting. I think it's really important that you emphasize that bit there, that we don't know exactly what that looks like, but what Luckhurst, who clearly we know is close to the club, who can get good sources of information, he's saying that the base figure is installments. If that's the case, and let's just paint hypotheticals because that's all we can do with the information, but knowing that it's not all going to be at once is a positive thing as well, because that means that even that 56 million doesn't all have to come out of the budget now, which would indicate further strength of negotiations and acuteness in the negotiation process for the player. If we, paint hypotheticals, you could say, I don't know, like you said there, maybe in the first year they end up with 35 million guaranteed. Then in the next year they get another 10 or 15 million or whatever it is. That gives us the chance to maybe sell some players, see how it goes after a year. Get to January, players out of favor. Someone might move, get more money in, and just move things about. From a Barcelona point of view, I think it's interesting because we know about tomorrow's date of June the 30th. It clearly must be okay for them to go to La Liga. I would assume from this information, if that's true, what Luckhurst is saying, it clearly must be okay for them to go to La Liga and say, look, here's the contract. This is what we are going to get guaranteed over X. So we
Exactly.
can. So
Yeah.
we're telling you we're going to get this money, and even the add-ons are guaranteed. So we can, these levers that we've activated and stuff like that, we can now show you that we're definitely getting this money, so you can clear us. And then we've clearly seen their pursuit for Lewandowski has picked up now. There's no coincidence that in the last few days, or the last 24 hours, I think it's been, in it. I saw Romano saying there's direct contacts again between Lewandowski. I think it's like 40 million or something like that. That wasn't happening before. And it's all around this June 30th that Semra Hunter was telling us about. So it's all kind of falling into that chronological order of kind of things happening in the right way at the right time, domino effect, which we said. And people raised a lot of eyebrows, and a lot of people disagreed with Semra Hunter when she said that. I think it's about over a week ago now. We put it up on the channel, didn't we, on social media, and said, basically, this is what Semra's saying. Do you agree that Man United actually have the upper hand? Well, it looks like she was right. And and
Yeah,
you know what? Fair play to
exactly.
her, because the reason she gave for us being in that position, it looks like that's the reason.
Yeah, yeah, and in fairness to her, she said, "Look, United have upper hand. But it's hypothetical at the moment." That was the key thing, wasn't it? It's
Yeah.
hypothetical. Yes, it was hypothetical.
Oh, sorry. I thought
That's
you,
what I
I
said.
thought you were
Yeah,
going to carry
yeah.
on.
No, 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 no.
I
It's
was looking at the
but that's what she
comments
was
and thought
saying.
he was
She
going
was
to
saying
carry
she
on.
was saying
I was like, where's he gone? He's lost
saying
connection.
those financial those financial levers that she was saying was that they've been agreed, but they still have to be done, and they aren't going to get done before this June 30 deadline. So United have the upper hand in that sense, and also as well, they really need, obviously, the transfer fee in itself, but they need to get those wages off the books when it comes to the rules, when it comes to salaries, etc. as well. So it's United clearly did have the upper hand, and she was right that these all of these sort of financial solutions that Barca had put in place were great, but none of them were confirmed at this point. They were still hypothetical, and United clearly utilised that. And again, I think patience in this case was a virtue. But I do understand, and we both were twitchy to an extent when it
100%.
comes to the how long it's taken, because we've been in these sagas before where it didn't need to. Yeah, the fan back out.
It's off, mate. It's off. I've took the batteries out. All right now. All right. I'll keep it here. It ain't leaving me. Ain't going too far because things can change very quickly. But the fan ain't fanning, bro. It's just chilling right now. It's fine. I don't need it right now because that
You've got
day
a
of the Batman thing.
cool temperature fleck. That's what you're feeling at the moment, yeah?
100%, 100%. Because even in the graphic that we have beside us, it says Flex and KG right now. But there you go, the transfer thing with Backman right in the middle of it. Josh, we can take it off, mate. Get him out. Put Malacia there. Do you know what I mean? Like it's all changing. It's all changing, Josh. So, if you think about it, within the last, let's just round it off to say 4 days, we've gone from our first signing probably looked like it was going to be Backman for 4 million to pulling out of the race for that, to getting Malacia done, to pretty much to pretty much getting De Jong done, turning our attentions to Martinez, and I dare say something else will happen, and we can put another player in that transfer view right there of looking at who's potentially going to be coming in, because you just don't know what's possible as well. Let's get some comments up on the screen and some super chats as well. If you haven't done so already, smash a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you are new. We've still got about just under 2,900 watching. So can we get to that 3K? We shall see. Fergie Sun says, Transfer United reported LVG really tried to discourage Malacia. Man's still very bitter and petty, though I get why he was hurt by the sacking, 100%. Yeah, Van Gaal's trying everything to stop any of his Dutch players going there, isn't he? And Ruben says, it feels different, Super Chat. It feels different. I'm not there yet, Ruben. I don't think I'll ever play that phrase again.
I'm very scarred by that last season. I mean,
Yeah.
KG really put that one out there. I believe it was in some titles, actual last season of certain videos. So I keep trying to catch KG to say it. And this isn't even on stream or on camera. I do it
Even he
all the
knows.
time. When we were at the studio yesterday, he will say the word different. I'll go, what are you saying? It feels different. He'll go,
no, I'm not saying
doing
that. Yeah, I'm not saying that. I think we've got some more super chats to get out as well. What have we got here? Big up to Ali says, what do you think of Ajax? Of Max Aarons on the cheap? A lot of people really like Max Aarons, and we should have gone for him a little while ago. I do know a little bit of people close to him, and they were telling me at the time, although you might think he's unbelievable, but Barcelona were looking at him, and Barcelona and Bayern Munich. I know you might say, no way, he decided to
I
stay.
remember hearing the Bayern Munich one. I remember hearing that Bayern Munich one. And to be fair, the Barcelona thing, and this isn't a disrespect to Max, but Barcelona have signed some odd players over the last 18, 12 months or so.
Yeah. Braithwaite,
So,
it happens.
Luke De Jong.
Yeah.
Darwin Traore, bringing him back to the club.
Exactly, cheap promoting at Bayern, so it can happen. But I do know of really good sources that's true about Max Aarons, and he decided to stay at Norwich, and I think he's gone backwards. I think he needs to reassert himself. I'm not sure if it was really cheap, cool, I'd look at it, but not for me. I'd rather James Justin. Honestly, I actually really want James Justin from Leicester. I keep saying it, but we're not in for him. There's no sources or anything. But hey, as you've seen, we weren't in for Malacia 48 hours ago, and now look. So you laughed at me, or you might be laughing at me now, but you might not be laughing at me later. But I have no sources to say we're in for James Justin. I just like him, and I can't believe that we're not being spoken about him or anything like that. Olu says, majority of transfers are paid in installments. True. Yeah, we all laughed at Arsenal back in the day for doing the Pepe one in installments and all that, but it is true. Most transfers are actually paid in installments, to be fair. Great point. Shalil says, guys, if we somehow get Martinez, will he play defensive midfield? It looks like the hunt for Martinez would be at centre half, I want to say. But who knows if he can play there? He is.
Yeah.
Eric Ten Hag has actually got quite a few options. If Lindelof's going to stay, isn't he? Varane's going to stay. Maguire's going to stay. So if you add Martinez into that, it's still quite a lot of centre backs, even though you still got Tuanzebe, Bailly, and Jones there. So and they're the free surplus. So something would have to give. Maybe he could play it. DM.
Well, the We Talk Arts guys were saying at the weekend actually that they brought him in. Was it initially as a left back, or I believe it might have been a left back? But they were saying he actually evolved into like a defensive midfielder into a centre back. So we could also be looking at a player that, and I'm remiss to say plugs lots of holes, because we don't sometimes, we get concerned when we hear those kind of phrases when it comes to United, but we could be looking at a bit of a multifunctional player as well, which isn't a bad thing. I think his primary function, as you mentioned, would be to be that centre back, but hey, maybe we get our defensive midfielder, our central defensive midfielder. Maybe we cheat it a little bit, and our centre back becomes our central defensive midfielder. I wouldn't be surprised if United try and look at that and go, we want to get centre back and a CDM this summer. We can't. Let's try and get both in one, and then we'll address it next summer. That could be something they try and do.
But again, at the same time as back in Ten Hag as well. Here we go. Sanjeet says, hijack settings Tillemans via Ekram Kona. Owen, are we getting punked there, or has Ekram Kona got something to say about?
I will look into it.
Yes, Owen will look into it as now. Just off the face value, people call me mad. There's something about Tillemans that doesn't sell me. Our team would have to change quite a bit for me to really, really like Tillemans. I'm not really for him, I'll be honest, unless it was a steal, because I know I don't think he's going to sign a new deal. So if it was like 30 million, and we've got Frenkie de Jong and we've got Eriksen, then you get him. It is a whole new look midfield. But people call me crazy. There's just something about Tielemans, his leg speed and getting about the pitch. I don't see it. But if we have that covered, someone who can do that, and then you bring him in, then fine. I'm not completely opposed to it, but there is something that's a bit weird. And Nana says, I think Owen has a friend in the United scouting department. Do you, Owen? Have you got a friend in the United scouting department? Have you got sources you're not telling us about?
I don't have any friends. No, I don't. No, I don't. But to go back to the Tielemans thing, Akram Kona is saying that Manchester United are planning to make an offer to Leicester for 25-year-old Belgian player Yuri Tielemans. Arsenal are continuing talks with the player, and Leicester to sign Tielemans. So that is what Akram Kona is saying. Whether or not United are actually going in for him, we'll have to wait and see. But could you imagine, Fleck? Imagine we signed Martinez and Tielemans. We hijacked 2 Arsenal deals. Could you imagine?
Mate.
I mean, the price, we don't really know the price. We do know Tielemans 1 year left. I believe it's 1 year left on his Leicester deal. Hence why it's looking like he'll be going this summer. I like him. I think he's a good player, a good playmaker. I would say there are probably other pressing people we should be going for. I don't know if he would be up there in the list of targets, but we'll see.
That surprised me. That surprised me. Maybe it shouldn't surprise me because, like I said, what we've seen in the last 24 hours, anything can happen, and talks and links and negotiations start happening out of nowhere. Just I don't know. I want to see. I don't know if we can get a poll up actually, Josh. Would you like to see? Let me check my mic or something. Something's happened here. 1 second. We'll get Josh on that. Owen, if you just ask them to get a poll up about Tielemans, though, because I think my mic is going very, very crazy at the moment.
Okay, we will try and get a poll in, or you can let us know actually. Who would you be interested? A simple yes or no. Would you be interested in signing Yuri Tielemans from Leicester this summer? Would that be something that you would be interesting? Something that you're looking for? What would you be looking at? Because again, it might be my one as well. As my audio's clipping as well.
Okay,
I have to wait and see.
Well, I don't know if we just keep going and wait for it to sort itself out or whatever, but one, two, 1, 2, check 1, 1, 2. Yep.
Yeah.
Well, that was weird. Drop us an emoji in the chat. Give us a little thumbs up. Give us a little, give us something, a green tick. Cool now, guys, says Lamino. Still doing a madness. Still not, no. Okay. Okay, 1 second. Yeah. I think we're back. Apologies, guys.
Big up so.
Yeah, I really hope so as well. Big up to the loyal ones that remain. Says, yeah, Fat4, big up to you. We're still here, says Manish. Please drop us an emoji or something, please. Fingers crossed that it's working. Finally, all is well, fixed. Hands up, emojis. We're back, baby, sorted. Right, there you go. Do you know what? To 1,400 of you, you lot are the real ones. To the 2,000 that left, you're a disgrace. Absolute disgrace, When the chips are down and we needed a little bit of help and loyalty, you all left us. You all left us. And they're all flocking back now. We should shut the doors now. You're not allowed back in. But now, big up. Listen, there was a little gremlin in there. People saying it was Leicester trying to hijack the stream. Arsenal trying to hijack the stream. Some people saying it was KG trying to hijack the stream. But there was a gremlin in the system. And like
possibly,
Raz said,
possibly KG, possibly.
100%. Raz says, these things happen. Don't worry. Roddy Romero, thumbs up. Go through the comments. Go through the members' comments because they got the members' priority. Kotso says, we love you guys. Big up to you, Kotso. And Kotso also is dropping his KG bomb emojis as well. So, yeah, big up to you guys who stayed. We're nearly back up to 2,000 already. That's amazing. Everyone's come back. But how does that work then? Because they don't get a notification to say the audio's fixed again. That's really weird. I
You know
don't
what?
know.
Do you know what it is? Do you know what it is? They go, oh, I think it's over, and then they sit there for a minute on the phone. They go, you know what? I feel bad. I was loving the show so much. I'll come back and I'll have another look. Fingers crossed. Now they're back and
Yeah,
welcome back. We
100%.
didn't say anything. We didn't say anything bad at all.
No, we didn't. And the numbers are actually going back up to nearly 2K already. Amazing. I'm really staggered by what's happened there. I've never experienced that before. I thought that was it, done. They're never going to come back. They're all gone. Just shows how strong the community is. And actually, we've got 956 likes. We're nearly at 1,000 whilst watching live. Can we just get a few more likes on the stream as well and get up to 1,000 whilst watching live? That would just top up a great stream. Madara says Tillemans is an average player. Please no. Where was we, Owen? I forgot even where was we on the back end of that.
Yeah, we're talking about Ekram Kona saying that Man United looking to
Oh yes,
hijack the Arsenal deal for Tillemans. You weren't really having Tillemans, and the poll is up in the chat as well, saying, would you take Tillemans? Only went up a minute ago, already over 300 votes, saying that 66% would take Yuri Tillemans at Manchester United, with
okay.
only 34% saying no. So, Flex, you are in the minority on this one.
I am, but I say that it's not that I wouldn't take him. I just feel like my midfield needs to look a certain way for me to have him. Do you know what I mean? Like, because we got Frenkie de Jong, cool. He's actually quite good at traveling with the ball. He can get about the pitch, to be fair. There's something about Tillemans that I just feels a little bit off. But if it
Are
was
you
cheap and we do,
saying Are you saying that a midfield of De Jong, Tillemans, Ericsson, maybe adding Bruno for one of those, maybe in
yeah,
a bigger game, adding in a Fred for a little bit of
yeah.
legs? You saying that doesn't excite you a little bit?
That's why
Flex?
I'm saying it can work because the midfield needs to look a certain way. If Tielemans was our main target, or we weren't going to get Ericsson and we weren't going to get De Jong, and it was like Tielemans, I'm not having it. But we've got our main target, the guy who can ball out, and for me, that's Frenkie de Jong. So if we get Tielemans for cheap and jump in, I wouldn't be complaining. I just don't love him like I see a lot of people love him. Do you know what I mean? Like, yeah, he's amazing. Why are we not going for him? Like they were saying that for me. I'm like, nah.
I
There's got to be
think,
better
I
out there.
think
And then
he,
when it was Frenkie de Jong, I was like, yes, that's
Yeah,
why I can
yeah,
get
yeah,
behind. You know
yeah.
what I mean?
I do think he's a really good player. I think he has suffered from what a lot of players do when they have a year left or 2 years left on their contract. It was very clear all through last season that Yuri Tillemans was going to leave Leicester. Or he had decided, whether it's in this coming summer or the summer after, once my contract expires, I'm leaving Leicester. I think that might have led to a bit of a fractious relationship with some of the fans, a bit of extra scrutiny on his performances. Obviously, Leicester didn't have the best season that they had last season. They were a couple of points really struggling, actually. They were
Yeah.
way lower than they should have been. Turned it around a little bit towards the end. And I think, injuries and speculation on everyone's future kind of played into that. I think he's a good player. My thing is, as I said previously, it's priorities. I do think we have other players that are probably more important to bring in at this point. And if we're looking at other midfielders, again, I would really hope we'd be looking at defensive midfielders as opposed to progressive, more advanced midfielders like
Because
Tillemans.
when does it
But
stop? Because if you get, we're talking about the budget here. If Tillemans costs 35 million, whilst that is cheap for Tillemans, and you could say there's more longevity in that deal, if you can get Ericsson for free for 2 years and then use that 35 million to buy an actual straight defensive midfielder for Manchester United, I would rather that personally, rather than just get Tillemans because that's a snip for him. Well, we've now got Frenkie de Jong, who's kind of box to box. He can sit. Frenkie de Jong can play in the six and just, wants to play where Busquets does, just front and back four. But he can also play how Tillemans plays and get forward. Tillemans is like a box to box. He's not a defensive midfielder. And for a box to box midfielder, I don't think he gets about the pitch well enough for me. Do you know what I mean? In their system, it works. Don't get me wrong. I think it's great. But I think our midfield would need to look a bit different to bring him in. But if it's with Ericsson, if it's with De Jong, 100%, Donny van der Beek's back in there and you add Tillemans into that, cool. But if you're saying 35 million, I would rather take 35 million, get a flat out DM that we've still been looking for ages and bring Ericsson in on a free for a couple of years.
yeah,
Me personally.
priorities. It's priorities. Exactly. I agree.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Let's move it on because we're already a little bit late because of that little bit of gap. Anthony Price disputed.
Yes, Anthony Price disputed. This comes once again from Paul Hurst from The Times, who is saying that Eric Ten Hag is intent on improving Manchester United's attack. Anthony is one target that, of course, Manchester United are looking for. However, the club are unlikely to meet Ajax's £70 million asking price for the winger. Now, we spoke about this quite in depth yesterday, and I think we spoke about it a couple of times, haven't we, Flex? That when you do see that you're signing Frenkie de Jong on an initial fee of 56 million, that 70 million pound asking price for Anthony that was already high gets even bigger because you go, are you saying that he's more important to the Manchester United side than Frankie de Jong? Are you saying if Frankie de Jong is going to be our biggest and maybe most expensive signing this summer, that's significantly higher when it comes to
But does
Anthony,
it
isn't it?
not
And
go on the expendability and the importance of the team that the player's coming from? So in Frenkie de Jong's situation, they had to get rid of him. So you could argue it's a cut price. With Ajax, he's integral to their team, like Frenkie de Jong was to Barca, but they don't have to sell him. So actually, we actually really want to keep this player. Barca didn't actually really want to keep Frenkie de Jong, so hence the price disparity.
yeah, but I don't think we have in the Frankie de Jong case, as Semra said, we had the upper hand when it came to negotiations. We don't have any hand really in
No,
this negotiating process. Ajax don't need to sell. They've done their selling business that they need to do this summer. They've presented their financials to whoever, and like the We Talk Ajax guys were saying at the weekend, we don't need to sell now. We still will if the price is right, and the price is
yeah,
70 million. And when it comes to Manchester United, when they say the line is in the sand, it's 70 million quid, we've got to go.
no.
Okay, other
Got to
options.
walk away,
And
mate.
let's be honest, when it came to like the striker and the Darwin Nunes situation, it was the concern was, is it really a strikers market this summer? What options are out there? There are other options to Anthony this summer. We've already been linked to people like Serge Gnabry, and again, that could be nothing, that could be something, but I would be looking at other options once I heard that price. I know KG's fixated on Anthony. I know KG really likes him and thinks he could be the one. He's been watching the comps. Maybe KG, the other KG scout, will be doing a comp scout on him in the future. But that to me is just that's too much. That's too much for me. And I do think we still, whilst we can sort of bask in the glow of doing this De Jong deal and getting a good price and the speed of this Malacia deal,
Mm.
we can't afford to get involved in another saga. We had one this summer, and
Agreed.
I have no interest in having another.
No, and I haven't got the stomach for it either, or the temperament. I used up all my calmness in that one, and even then I got prickly. I can't be bothered to do it again. Especially that we know the situation and the environment around that deal is completely different to Frankie de Jong, like you said. But they do not need to sell. They don't want to sell. That hence why there's the stupid high price to actually scare us off. That price is at that to price Anthony out of the move so that United go, you know, I can't pay that because that's what they want to happen. That's why Anthony is saying, "Can you listen to offers? Can you try, please?" Because you know he wants to come. He wants to come, but we have to say, look, do you know what? Um, that's an issue for us. That's an issue. Quickly moving on because I want to finish off. Alex Tellez. United open to Tellez offer or offers.
Yeah, so we spoke about this earlier on as well, didn't we? When it came to obviously Tyrell Malacia looking like he's about to become a Manchester United player, it would appear that that spells the end for Alex Tellez at Manchester United. Rob Dawson from ESPN is saying that Manchester United are willing to listen to offers for Alex Tellez. Samuel Luckhurst also saying that Alex Tellez is not regarded as a starting left back by Eric Ten Hag and his staff. So basically saying that this move for Malacia does imply that it could be the end for Tellez and United are open for offers. What do you think Tellez is? I wouldn't say legacy, that's too strong, but what do you think his tenure looks like at Manchester United? What do you think people will say when they look back on his United career?
Well, shit, isn't it? Like Butner, isn't it?
Butler, but hey, Butler won a Premier League, mate.
That's true. Actually, that's true. But like, actually, yeah. So I can't even say that, even though Butner was like fucking hell. Like, do you know what I mean? It was rubbish. But um, it's it's poor, isn't it? We all looked at the comp videos. We saw the penalties being taken, free kicks and crosses, and this attacking fullback we thought we was getting. Instead, we got somebody who, in the first couple of games, I think it was PSG. I want to say he came on against. I remember, and he looked okay. Then quickly we saw that he just hasn't got it. Honest guy, tried his hardest, didn't have it. Didn't have it. The distribution was poor. His defensive. I remember that game against Villarreal. I know he scored an amazing goal in that game, but Danjuma tore him a new one in that game. I remember, if I remember quite vividly. And then I remember a game when Ryan Fredericks against West Ham. I think Fredericks went past him, nutmegged him, then they scored. Like, he just showed that defensively he didn't really have it. There were some moments he showed okay, but essentially overall it just didn't work out. It just didn't work out. He got his dream move to Man United. His intentions were pure to rival Luke Shaw, because Luke Shaw still has not nailed it down. Like, the season that Tellez came, it propelled Luke Shaw, didn't it? And
Yeah, the
made him kick on.
competition pushed him on. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and then that kind of just went because oh, sorry, that was Dallo. Yeah, with the Danjuma thing, he nearly retired him. Sorry, apologies. That was Dallo. But the Ryan Fredericks one, I definitely remember, and just different games. I just remember him just not doing very well. I remember I remember going in on Dallo in that game as well, because Danjuma was absolutely rinsing him. My bad. Um, but yeah, back to Tellez. Cut a long story short, not good enough. Not good enough. Ten Hag
Yeah.
wants to play a certain way, and this kid looks like something that would suit Ten Hag. And Luke Shaw, what I will say about Luke Shaw, he always leaves the door open. Do you know what I mean? For somebody to come in, because he either breaks down through injury or he's bang average throughout different stages of the season. And we need a left back. And also, I know it because I don't want Wan-Bissaka to stay. So we've got to get a right back, man. Hopefully, we can do something similar, like a young up and coming like that from nowhere. Boom. Oh, who's this guy? He just came in. That looks good. We need a right back, man.
Or you could argue in the right back situation as well, is because Dallow's a young player. Maybe you do bring in someone that is sort of mid-20s or whatever. That is someone that's like, actually, they're probably going to be playing more games. And Dallow,
That's
you're
true.
going to not be the understudy, but you're going to have to really develop your game.
Yeah,
So someone
yeah.
like that, someone
Before to
like
get some
Dumfries, who
experience.
has actually achieved something, has won, things. I think that might be the
Yeah,
direction that they go in. When it comes to Tellez, I agree with you. I think that his legacy is probably that he scored that good volley against Villarreal. For a guy that was meant to be the set piece specialist, we didn't see enough of it. Um, the positive you could maybe say is that we didn't spend a ton of money on him in the first place, so
yeah,
it's not as if it was a huge outlay. But again, for a guy, and this has been my issue, for a guy that's sort of 29 coming into 30, I just don't think he's at that level of what we need
yeah.
in our fullback, especially the modern day fullback position. But can't ever say that you never tried.
No,
So
100%.
fair play for that.
Abab says, Narflex, I prefer experience on the right. And that goes into what Owen was just saying. Because it probably would be Wan-Bissaka to leave. You look at Dallo, he's what? I think he's about 23, 24. But all right, the audio's going mad again. Right. We're over. Peace. We're going to end the stream there. Bye-bye. Audio is fine, says Fat4. I don't know. If you can hear us, great. We're out of here.
Yeah,
Smash a
the
like
audio's
on the
fine.
video.
Yeah, wrap
The
it
audio's
up.
fine. I don't know what's happening. The audio is fine, says Steffi Jenkins, but we are actually at the end of the stream. But before I do, let me read out this quick super chat. Vishal says, even if we manage to get De Jong and a couple more players at decent prices, that'll be a good window, in my opinion. We can go for big money players later. Agreed. There were some super chats right at the top. There you go. Sachif says, is Tillemans a box-to-box midfielder? I believe he is. And I think we're good there. We've read out all the super chats. Guys, wicked stream. Great numbers. And to be fair, even though the audio is fine now, we did have a lot of problems and you guys stuck at it and we managed to do it. So big up to you guys. Thanks for watching. We've done our hour. Excitement brews, Owen. Would you say that? Exciting times?
Yes.
I was like, don't want to risk the audio going bad anytime soon, so let's just get out of it. Guys, smash a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you're new. Remember, you can join the UV Members Club. Links in the video description below as well. We're out of here. Peace.